What's up, guys? This is Madison Beer, and you are watching my Ask Anything Chat for Most Requested Live. This is for iHeartRadio, and my new single is called Selfish, and my other one is called Good and Goodbye. So thank you so much to Romeo for having me on the show tonight. I'm very excited to be answering these questions, and yeah, go check out Good and Goodbye and Selfish, both out now. Okay, let's jump right in. Okay. Sue from Kashmir said, do you have any advice for us or direction for us on how well you've been able to evolve over time? Well, thank you. First of all, I take that as a major compliment because I pride myself on growing as a person and learning from my mistakes. And I would say just don't get too defensive when people call you out for doing something wrong. I think that's a perfect way to grow, and it's a great opportunity to grow and change. And on any scale, if somebody's just like, hey, you hurt my feelings, instead of automatically being like, no, I didn't, or invalidating them, it's really good to be able to hear people out and understand things from a different perspective. And I think that's what's helped me evolve as a person, is I've been able to change my perspective and see things through other people's eyes a little bit more. Even if I don't agree, I try to understand things from their perspective, and that'll help you kind of just like grow, I guess. I don't know. Dylan from Strong Island said, when you're doing a concert on Long Island close to home, do you ever get emotional? So when I did my show at the Paramount, I was so emotional, and to make things worse, better, I guess, I had a tribute to Long Island in the middle of my show where I kind of like made a speech about Long Island being my home and like somewhere that I'll always call home, where I am right now. So I definitely get emotional. It's very emotional for me to like think of little me when I was 13 being bullied in school and like having everyone tell me that I was never gonna do anything or like be successful in any capacity. And now I'm like at one of the most legendary venues in my like hometown, sold out show. That was definitely just like a whirlwind for me, and it was something that I couldn't really wrap my head around. So I'm to this day eternally grateful to Long Island and my fellow Long Islanders who support me to this day. Omega from Georgia said, who is your favorite Disney princess, and have you ever had a Cinderella moment where you lost your shoe? Can't say I've lost my shoe. I'm a pretty responsible person, so that hasn't happened, but my favorite Disney princess has always been The Little Mermaid. And it's really strange that it was always a Little Mermaid, because growing up I had no idea that I was a Pisces. And if you don't know anything about zodiac signs, Pisces are like the fish sign. So the fact that I was always so drawn to Ariel could just be a mere coincidence. But I now, as an adult who's super into like zodiac signs, feel like that's kind of weird that I was like subconsciously drawn to the one princess that's like underwater. I don't know. Kind of weird, maybe not to anyone but me, but I love Princess Ariel. Is it Ariel or Ariel? I don't know. I think it varies on where you're from, but you know who I'm talking about. Okay. Mariella from California said, how would you describe your relationship with your fans? My friends. Like, when I say the word fan, it solely is being like, when I feel like I only use fans when I'm like, I love my fans or thank you to my fans, because I have to like marginalize everyone if I'm gonna refer to everyone as like a group. But these are like genuinely people who I feel like I've grown up with and like have shaped me as a person, and who understand me and hear me out and are there for me and like have the same sense of humor as me and understand me as a person. And like I genuinely consider them my fans and friends and supporters. Like those are the terms that I like to use. Like these are my homies, you know? And these are people who, when I meet them in person, I feel like it's just an automatic connection and friendship. So my relationship with them is very strong and it's very authentic. And I think that that's because I've been on the internet for so long now. They've just been able to really get to know me, and it's really special, the relationship that I have with them, and it means the world to me. Courtney from Orlando, Florida says, is there a storyline behind the album title? Yeah, there is, and you'll definitely hear the storyline and understand it more. Also, I'm sorry I'm so congested right now. I'm always congested, and I'm always like running somewhat of a cold, so staying inside, but that's why I sound like I'm just not well, but I'm okay. Anyway, sorry. Is there a storyline behind the album? You're going to hear all about it on the actual album. I don't want to give too much away, but all I can really say right now is I promised myself I wasn't going to do too much of like a speech prior to it coming out. But what I will tell you right now is that it was really my life support during a really hard time, during a really dark time for me that I never could foresee was coming. And I'm lucky that it aligned with studio time and I was able to channel the feelings I was having during the day into my music and created my album. But at night, things would still get really dark for me and depressing and sad. And this album really served as like therapy for me. Even though I was still seeing a therapist, it served as a really great form of therapy and like healing, and it brought me a lot of closure. And I posted something recently where I basically said like music is so powerful and healing because it can bring people closure and apologize to people for things that other people have done. Like sometimes I'll listen to a song and I'll be like imagining that somebody who's hurt me is not singing it to me, but like is sent it to me or whatever, and it'll supply me with this like weird closure, which I'm not sure if a therapist would actually think is healthy, but I think that it's okay. And I think that that's a really valid way of like getting your apologies from people or like closures. Like if somebody's not supplying you with what you feel like you need from them in order to move on with your life, I want people to be able to listen to a song of mine and feel okay. Also, all my dogs are just like so loud. Okay, next question is Dion from Alberta said, got any movie recommendations besides Fight Club? The Prestige. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you liked Fight Club, you will love The Prestige. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it right this minute. I would say next to The Prestige, I would recommend The Truman Show. And if I had to give one more, I would say The Game. Also by David Fincher, who directed Fight Club, so that's cool. And The Prestige was directed by Christopher Nolan, who did like Inception and a bunch of other ones, and he's just a genius. So those are my movies for you, off the top of my head. Don't get mad if I butcher your name, I'm really sorry, but Renad from Maine, I'm so bad with names, I'm sorry. Renad from Maine said, do you find it annoying when most people only comment on your looks and not your talent? This is a tough question because I think that I'm obviously grateful when people compliment me. I think it's very sweet and nice, but I have always said, like, you're just born the way you're born, and it doesn't take, like, if you look a certain way, it's just because you were born like that, or, you know, it's because of how you put yourself together or whatnot. And I think that when people recognize me for things that I've personally worked on, or things that I am passionate about, or things that actually make me up as a person, those are the things that I feel grateful to be seen for. Somebody came up to me recently and was like, hey, love your music. Like, you watch Rick and Morty, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you also love Bo Burnham, right? And I was like, yeah. And just that, like, being recognized for things I'm genuinely, like, passionate about or that I really love was super cool. And yeah, I know that sounds silly to most, but it gets kind of exhausting just having people be like, you're so pretty. Because I'm like, thank you, it's very nice, but I don't know, like that looks are only skin deep, you know, they don't define you. So don't put all your emphasis on the way you look, because it's not important and beauty fades, and having a good heart is much, much, much more important. John from Paris, France said, what inspired the track Follow the White Rabbit, production-wise and lyric-wise? Love you, by the way. Follow the White Rabbit, I'm glad you guys know and love that song. Everyone, like, always is requesting to hear more of that song, so I'm really excited for you guys to hear it on the album. But what inspired it was I watched The Matrix for, like, the 97,000th time, and at the beginning of the movie, it says, wake up, Neo, follow the White Rabbit. I'm pretty sure. If that's, like, slightly off, I apologize. But I don't know, I've always just loved that, and it's also kind of like an Alice in Wonderland tie-in, and I've just always connected to both of those movies in a weird way, so that's what inspired it. And then we just kind of, like, had fun with the lyrics, and we honestly just, like, riffed on it. It wasn't really anything story-wise, like, specific. It was just more like, because the lyrics are like, devil in a dress, I'ma love you like I do, and it's just, I don't know, just being, like, hot and feeling sexy, and, like, I don't know. It's honestly, like, the lyrics are pretty random, but they're fun. Have I ever given advice to other artists? This will be the last one. Annie from Tampa asks this one. I have given advice to other artists. I've given a lot of advice to people in general, but a lot of other artists will ask me, like, you know, what can I expect going into the industry, or what's, like, the hardest part? And, you know, I'll always just be realistic with people, and I think that, like, you can't give the same advice to every person, so it's kind of based on, like, who's asking. But I'm always open to giving people advice, but I also preface that with, like, I don't know everything. I just know from what I've been taught and what I've learned. So when I give advice, just remember that that's from my experiences and my experiences only. But always open to giving people advice. But I think that's it for me. I'm going to look right now, but I think that is all. So thank you guys again for watching. I know this was sort of long, but I'm glad I got to answer all your questions, and I hope this kept you somewhat entertained amongst the quarantine. Please, everyone, stay safe. Please, I can't emphasize this enough. Stay at home. Stay social distancing yourself from people. I know it's tough, but we're all in this together. Take care of your mental health. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Romeo. Thank you, iHeartRadio. And I love you guys. Please check out my new singles, Selfish and Good and Goodbye. They both have music videos out, directed by me as well. So go check those out, and love you, for real. Peace and love. Stay kind, stay safe, and stay quarantined. Bye, guys.